life insurance is a financial tool that comes through for you and your family when life happens. So what do I mean when life happens? It gives a cash payout, a lump sum payout when someone dies.
I had heard about life insurance.
Yes.
But in my head,
Yes.
it's expensive.
Yes.
It is for the wealth. It is for, like, it
Iko na
sounds
watu
like
wao.
something
Yeah.
that's very complicated.
Yes. Think about it, Judy, from a cultural perspective. As Africans, we're told, you cannot discuss death.
Yeah, that's
Already we
taboo.
don't talk about money. So talking about life insurance is speaking about death and money at the same
Yeah.
time. So both are taboo, conversations. So this is a conversation we're not having in our households.
Me, I have vowed,
Yes.
Mnyindo,
Yes.
that I will be the first one in my generation to make sure that my child understands money.
Hey,
From
I
a
love
young
that.
age. Because I said, I have to change it for my family, for
exactly.
my generation.
Sindo hivyo.
Sasa mimi, I'll be the first generation in my family
To do this.
Mtoto wangu understands money.
No, that is good.
Understands
that
money,
is really
knows
good.
she knows how money works.
Yeah.
She knows how to make money.
Yeah.
She knows where to put this money for that money to make more money.
To make more money.
No.
Na mkinunua mashamba mumpeleke pia. Because most people hata hawajui what their parents own.
Yes.
And like I find it very interesting when now you're talking to people like, sasa kwa nini ajue na kitaka kunimaliza ndio achukue vitu zangu? I'm just like,
No, that's the other thing.
now
That's
sasa shwari.
Hi guys, how are you today? Welcome back to our channel. We have a very, very, very exciting conversation happening here today. I have a guest, and about 4 months ago, I attended an event, and that event was called the CEO event. And in this event, there was a panel of 3 amazing ladies who were speaking to us. And the conversations were around finances, basically, like financial wellness for women. And I remember among the 3 ladies that were speaking to us on that day, one of them gave us a personal story of why she does what she does. She's in the insurance industry. But her personal story was the thing that sold me. Afu nikasema by then nikiwa hapa nikasema God willing, at some point before the year ends, I will have her come and join us. Tukae na yeye atuambie hiyo story yake, and then she tells us about what it is that she does. And ladies and gentlemen, 4 months later, she's here with us. Yeah.
Yes, Judy.
Oh,
wow.
my God.
Thank you for that introduction.
Like, I woke up today and I was like, oh my God, 4 months later, it's happening. It's
Finally.
happening. And I didn't tell you about this conversation until like maybe a week ago.
It was just last week.
Yes!
And by the way, all is God because I was coming to Nairobi.
Yes, because Mnyindo is based. She's not based in Nairobi. Mm-hmm. She's based in another county, huko mbali. So I feel like this was God's timing. Yeah, and ile siku niliambia God willing, God had me. So and he made sure that today to make it here for a conversation.
Yes.
So during the CEO event, let me tell you, all the ladies that shared on that day, Susan, Winnie, like you are amazing. You are fantastic. Susan is a good friend of mine.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. Yes. But then again, I think when I was going home, the conversation that stuck with me in my head was the story that you shared and how life insurance. I don't know if that's how we call it.
Yes, it's life insurance.
That's
You're right.
And you mentioned how your husband's life insurance became your saving grace after he passed away during COVID. And it happened that at the same time you had just given birth to your new baby.
Yes.
There was already another baby.
Yes, there was already my firstborn at that time was 17 months and I was pregnant.
17 months.
Yes, she was 17 months old. I got my bababies back to back.
Yes. So by the time the new one was coming.
Yeah. Oh. He was already, he had already passed on.
Yes. Yeah. And when you told us your story, I was like, God.
Yes.
In my I have heard about life insurance. Yes. But I won't lie, Mnyindo. Me, every time I hear about life insurance, the thing that comes to my mind is, those are things for the rich.
Yes.
Yeah?
But we're used to it.
Yes, it's something expensive. Yeah. It's probably something
not accessible
to me. It's something for the rich. Yes. You know, like people who have money.
Lots of money. Yes.
But then you shared your story and then you broke down what life insurance is. And I was like, guy.
Yes.
Aki, if I do not have this information, mimi mwenye nafikirianga in my head I'm very woke, yeah, like ninaishi Nairobi, nimechanuka, I know these things. Yeah. Like how about my audience, that people that follow me, like maybe this is information they don't have as well, and it's information that would help them in some way, right? Yeah. So to start us off,
yes, Judy.
As I've mentioned before, I just mentioned that you shared about losing your husband, and you had just given birth to your second born, and how your husband's insurance, life insurance, came through for you. Like it's the thing that saved you during that season of your life. So could you please tell us a bit more about what that season of your life was like? Yes.
Yeah, Judy, I'm telling you, it's interesting the way I've shared this story over and over again, but still going back to that place it can be quite painful. But it all started now in 2020. We had been married not for too long. It was a very, very young marriage. Still in our honeymoon period, still very much in love. And in October 2020, that was the COVID season. So in October 2020, I still remember, like around the 20th of October is when I could notice that he's coughing. You know, when you're sleeping next to someone, you can always tell that there's something that is off. So I was like, hey, babe, I feel that there's something different about you. You've been coughing a lot and how you're breathing is not normal. So I think you should just go and get checked. Yeah. Then the next day, we went to the clinic to have him checked for COVID, because at that time it was just crazy. And then after getting checked, they found that, yes, he had COVID. Yeah? And we're like, okay. So we asked the doctor, what next? The doctor's like, no, because you guys are still young, you're still healthy. All you just need to do is drink, the normal things that they were telling us, the lemon water, and just give us a bit of medication. And just told us, just keep on checking how everything is going. In case of anything, just let us know. So he got diagnosed now with the COVID. And then a few days later, me too, like I also started coughing and I could not breathe well. And I thought the reason why I could not breathe well is because I was pregnant. I was pretty heavily pregnant at that time. I was about 31, 32 weeks pregnant. So I thought maybe I cannot breathe because of that. So I also went to get checked and I was told I have COVID as well. So the days go by, and one of the days now completely, I could not breathe at all. So I had to go back to my gyna, and my gyna was like, I need you admitted immediately. Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Let me just go back home and let my husband know. Then I can go also pack so that I can come get admitted. So I come home. My husband was home at that time. And I just told him, okay, so the doctor didn't like how it is that I'm breathing. And he said that I should come to the hospital and get admitted. And he's like, okay, babe, that's fine. And he was like, we just, we loved to joke a lot. We were very, very close. And he told me, okay, it's fine. You just go to the hospital and I'll come pick you when, you're ready. So I was like, okay, fine. And then that's when now we told him goodbye. And then one of his friends took me to hospital to get admitted, because even for him, he was not strong enough to take me to hospital. So I went to get admitted. I remember that was on the 27th of October. I get admitted. And then immediately I had to be put under a ventilator because, yes, I said my breathing was not good. And also at that time, remember, pregnant women were really dying from COVID. And also the doctors, they need to figure out how to handle me at that time. Because also now, earlier on, after having now my chest checked, they said like about 90% of my lungs are filled with fluid. Yeah, COVID was horrible. Yeah. So now that's the 27th. The day goes by, just, texting, checking up on him, how he's doing. And then now let's go on the 28th of October. So 28th of October, my days, starts as normal. And then I'm like, oh, actually, I've not spoken to my husband today. Let me check on how it is that he's doing. So I try to call, but he doesn't pick up my call, which was very odd, because if there's someone who will always pick up my call, it was him. And even if he could not call, he'll send a message or just tell someone to reach me. So I called him, nothing. So I was like, hey, this is a bit off. This is not normal. Is he okay? Then I start calling his friends, because I know some of his friends kept on going to check up on him. So I called his friends and nobody was picking. Judy, I can't even. Now I started getting very anxious. Yeah. I'm like, why are they not picking? This is weird. Now I call my friends. My friends are also not picking.
Yeah.
Then I was like, God, I don't know what is happening, but whatever is happening, I don't think it's a good thing. And eventually tried calling my sister, didn't pick. Called my mom, she didn't pick. So the person who eventually picked was my dad. Then I was like, okay, how is my husband? Then he's like, oh, no, he's okay. But we're coming to hospital to see you. I'm like, no, just tell me how he's doing. I've been trying to call him. He's not picking up his call. He's like, no, everything is okay. And I'm like, why are you coming to see me? Because, at that time, I was in isolation. So they said I was highly infectious, so they could not let anybody come in. So it was quite a red flag. Why are you coming to see me? Because they're already not allowed to come and see me. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So that time between now them telling me, them coming to see me, and now coming to see me, it was quite a number of hours. So I waited. I'm calling, nothing. So it was very hard for me, because you can imagine, I can't breathe, I'm pregnant, and then I can't reach my husband. Yeah. Then eventually my parents arrive at the hospital. I think it was about 2-3 hours later from the time we had the conversation. And then they were in those full suits. What are those things called? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, those
are names.
The white, yes.
Because it when
yeah.
Those.
Yes. So they had to wear the full suit to get in. So I still remember, they just came in from the door. They were not even allowed to come close to me. They were just there by the door. And then they told me, oh, Mnyindo, we have some sad news. Unfortunately, Jonah didn't make it. I'm like, wow, what do you mean? So they're like, he died earlier on his way to hospital. Hey, I don't even know if I have the words to describe what was going through my mind at that time. Because my parents were only given maximum 5 minutes in the room. They couldn't even come and hold me. They couldn't touch me. They couldn't hug me. They had to leave. So they just left me with the news, and whatever happens. Yes.
Yeah.
So and at that time I can't even cry because I'm under a ventilator. So do you cry or do you try and survive? Yeah. So the whole time I was just, if I could describe it, as I felt extremely exposed. I felt that I was not safe because my husband was my protector and my best friend and the love of my life. I couldn't believe what it is that I was hearing. I was in so much shock. So at that time, because of the pain I was going through, both mental and physical, I just said, hey God, this cannot be happening. And I just said, okay, when you're trying to make a pact with God. So I was like, okay, just let my baby come. Then after that, I just want to die. It was so bad. I just wanted to go because I couldn't imagine my life without him. Yeah. So at that point, the doctors say that I have to deliver my child immediately. So later on, what I was told is they didn't think I was also going to make it. So at least let the child survive. Yeah. That's what I was told later. They can't tell you that you're dying, but because all the odds were against me. I mean, I was pregnant, I have COVID, and now my husband was dead. So all the things it was just too much for me to handle. So they're like, okay, the baby has to come out. So at that time, they had to do a C-section because you remember I was just 32 weeks pregnant. And then at that point, they delivered the baby shortly after, just a few days after the news. And then I didn't even get to see my child. I couldn't hold it because of the COVID. And I think at that time, they didn't know how it would be now me holding my child if I could infect my baby. So they just had to rush my baby to the NICU. And then I was taken to the ICU because everything was just going down. Yeah. So at that time, I remember, I was like, okay, God, the time has come. I felt like it was going to be lighter and less painful than what it is that I was going through. So at that time when I felt like I was going, I feel sometimes you can actually release yourself. I don't know. But at that time, I just wanted to go. So a voice came to me and be like, Marianne, you need to stop being so selfish. Because I'd forgotten I had my 2 kids. I've not even seen one of them. And if I was to go, there'll be no parent to take care of them. So just fight. So whatever that voice, whether it was the Holy Spirit, whether it was my late husband, I cannot really tell, but a voice came and told me just to fight. Yeah. And then that time, because of everything I'd been told, I had to just put that thought at the back of my mind. I'm like, okay, I cannot focus on this. Now I need to focus on surviving. So the whole time when I was in hospital, it was pretty lonely, but I'm so grateful for the nurses and the doctors. I was at Mpisha Hospital. They were the best at that time. They really, really came through for me. So at least they used to come and just give me encouragement, because my parents were not allowed. Yeah. Nobody was allowed to come in. So at that time, I was just focusing on just getting better. I was like, okay, God, since you've told me, if it's you who spoke to me to fight, I need to fight. But I could not fight with all those thoughts in my mind. And then the days go by in hospital, and then now there's the funeral arrangements, which are also going on. And I think also one very hard part, which I don't think I've ever reconciled with, is the fact that I could not bury him, because the doctors did not allow me to leave the hospital because my condition was really bad. And I think also one of the reasons is they didn't know if I was even going to come out of hospital. So how long are you going to keep someone? So they sent me his memorial and the whole burial on YouTube. It was hard.
That's hard.
Yeah, it was hard. Until today, I've not been able to watch it. I still haven't. So yes, they sent that to me. I was like, okay, God, this is too painful, but just hold me. So I kept on playing Psalms 23 the whole time I was in hospital. Especially that part that says, the Lord restores your soul, and walks you along the right path for his name's sake. So I just kept on playing that. And by the grace of God, within at least 2 weeks, I was out of the ICU.
Oh, you recovered?
Yes. The ICU was also a very traumatizing place to be, because you literally are seeing people being wheeled out dead. So you wonder if you're next. It was really hard, but eventually I got better, and they let me now go to the HDU. And then I was in the HDU for a few days, then eventually went to the normal ward bed. Yeah.
I think it's God who's
it was literally God. Yeah. Because if it was by my own strength,
I got you.
Yeah, I got you.
Make it through.
Exactly. Because if it was by my own strength, I don't think I would have done it. So eventually now, I'm recovering. And then the one thing that also a lot of us also know, maybe don't speak about, is now that hospital bill. It was huge. It was huge. And remember that time, in as much as we had insurance, our insurer was not covering medical by COVID. Yeah.
Oh yes.
It was excluded.
I remember.
You remember?
I remember those conversations.
Yes. You see, okay, I'll also explain to you why they don't cover COVID, but now the only thing they could cater for was, I think, about 250,000 for the giving birth, the maternity benefit, but everything else, you're on your own. Yeah. So they'll be like, the hospital can empathize, but you still have to pay your bills.
Yes.
So the one thing
are you okay mentioning like how much?
Yes, I am okay.
Approximately how much?
It was about 4 million.
Oh my God. And insurance is only paying 250 shillings.
Exactly.
250,000.
Yeah, 250,000. This is now also where community really comes in. In as much as you have insurance, you still need your people.
That's true.
Let me tell you, people raised money. Like until today, I'm so grateful for the people who came through. Some I know, some I do not. They're able to raise, I think, about 2.5 million. Imagine in that short period of time. It was a good amount. And then some consultations where my husband did some work, they did pay some amount, some money they hadn't paid him. And then the rest of the amount came through now from the life cover that we had. Yeah. And even during that period in the hospital, I'd even completely forgotten that we had it, because it was such a traumatizing experience. I forgot so many things. But now those are pending amount. And then, there's only so much you can ask people to give. They've already done much for you. Yeah. So the whole process took it took a couple of days to now have the payout done, and then I used part of the money to pay for the hospital bills, and then I was released, because they can't release you if you're not paid. So that was the journey, at least now when it was at the hospital. Then now there's the journey after, there's the during the period when someone has died, and then there's now the life after. When people were talking about new normal, I had two new normals. I had a new normal of the COVID, and then I had the new normal of now moving forward without my late husband.
Yes, and the new normal of a newborn.
And a newborn. So I came into the hospital. They're not 2 kids. I came in the hospital with 1 child. I left with no husband and 2 kids. So it was new normal on every front. I felt like I was being fought from every angle. And then now, remember, I don't think I'd mentioned this. At that time, I'd taken a break from work. So I was a stay-at-home mom. Now, I come out of hospital. And then, I mean, I really didn't have a place to stay. So we had to go get a new apartment. So at least because of the life cover proceeds, I was able to pay for the rent to take care of now me and the kids. Because at that time, trying to think about going back to work was not even in my mind.
I know, yeah.
I'm already going through so much. And also the doctors told me I have to stay in bed for like about another 1 month, 2 months, just to now properly, fully recover. So it was not in my mind that I need to go to work immediately. So at least that money really did give me a runway and a cushion to be able to now take care of myself and the kids without really changing our lifestyle. And then now I had to now ask myself, now what next?
Yeah.
So I'd already been in the industry. I've already been in finance. So my background is in financial mathematics.
Financial
mathematics, yes. And nilisomea here, and then eventually I got into now wealth management, but focusing on wealth protection and preservation. So even at that time, in as much as I was a stay-at-home mom, the one thing until today I thank my late husband for was helping me set up this business. Because when we met, I mean, at that time now when I was a stay-at-home mom, I think I'd started getting a bit comfortable. I mean, I was being taken care of. And he told me when we met, you gave me your dream. You told me that you're really passionate about working with families. So I don't think you should let go of that dream, even if I'm taking care of you and the children. There's so much it is that you can do. So you told me that, okay, I'm going to help you as much as I can. Just do something. Even if you're going to get 1 client a month, it doesn't matter. But there's something it is that you're doing that you're passionate about. Because he said he didn't want me one day to resent him because the children will leave the house. Even for him, he's doing his thing. Then now I'm seated here 10 years later and I didn't fulfill my dreams. So I'm really appreciative of him listening to what it is that I had in my heart and doing something about it. So he got me my first laptop now for the business and the phone. I still remember us going to Sarit Center to buy the laptop and the phone. And then now working with the different providers, he's the one who took me around to now go and meet with the different insurers and the different fund managers.
Now, before we get there, because I want you to tell us about the risk, so people can now understand the reason for this conversation. Okay. And the reason why I felt it would be good for you to share your backstory. And now we can get into the business of this conversation.
Of everything else. Awesome.
So you mentioned you go home and you're advised to stay in bed at least for another 1 month. So how long are you at home for? Before now you get into the... Now you decide now, okay, I have a laptop and I have a phone. I need to
do something.
Start this.
Oh my God.
Of mine.
So after that, now remember at that point I was also going through so much pain and through so much grief. I have the newborn. I'm going through the pain of losing my husband. So that I was not even opening the windows. I was just constantly in the bathroom crying. And just crying to God. I'm like, what next? What next? So at that time, I also had to ask God, okay, so what do I do? It took about a whole year, Judy, before I did anything. From the time my late husband died until now, it is that I seriously now started doing the business. Because the business, it was already up and running, right? Like it had already been registered. I had a few clients here and there. But now for me to completely go all in, it took some time. So what happened is even during that time when I'm trying to figure out is there was some clients who had started talking to, there's this one who, I still remember her. She was like, hey, madam, I'm so sorry for what happened. I heard what happened. But we had started this conversation.
Yes.
So I kept on ignoring her until one day I was just like, sawa, let me just help her sort it out. So I just now slowly started pole. Because I didn't want to go all in because my heart was still in pain. So at that time when I was still trying to figure out, okay, now what next? So I started now with a few clients. So I had to look at, okay, what do I have in my hands and what am I good at? So I'm good at wealth, just wealth management in general, especially when it comes to family wealth.
Yeah.
I have lots and lots of family conversations because speaking money is one thing, but money within a family context, that's a whole different
conversation.
Yeah, it's
that's
a whole.
True.
And now, okay, so that is what I'm good at. I have my background, I have my degrees, I have my certifications, right? And then I have maybe the few clients and I have my network. Yeah. So even for the people who maybe choose to go down the route of being a stay-at-home mom, please just, I want to say, leave your networks open because you never know, right? And then now I had some of the money from the life insurance proceeds. Yeah.
So you've mentioned you were home for 1 year. In this 1 year, you're surviving on the payout.
Yes.
From the life insurance.
Yeah. Yes. Because remember, as I said, I didn't have anything that I was doing, seriously. My husband was bringing in majority of the income in the house. So, and there's 2 children who still need to eat. We still need a roof over our head. So that 1 year, the money that was paid out gave me a bit of runway. So the one thing I'm really grateful for is I was able to take a step back and now create a strategy on my way forward. Yeah, because if I didn't have that money, I might have had to go to work almost immediately because the kids still need to eat, and now I'm the only parent. Yeah, and also the other thing I'm so grateful during that period is the people who came through for me. Yeah, so my community, my friends, my late husband's friends. So they did come through for me, people coming to pray with me, coming to hold my hand and also help me think of what next, yeah? And also another thing I'd like to remind people is sometimes people really want to come through for you, but they can't. Yeah? They maybe from a monetary perspective. So we need to allow people to come through for us the way it is that they can, because there's always someone who could take me to the hospital with my baby. There's always someone who was bringing us food. There was someone who was bringing us grocery shopping. Now imagine, Judy, if we didn't have a plan and I need to raise 200,000 per month to stay somewhere to cover my expenses. And remember, it was COVID. Even people are going through it.
Yes, in that time actually nobody is working. Nobody is working. Have no money.
Exactly. So it will be unfair for me to say someone did not come through for me because they didn't bring me money, but they came through for me in many other ways. So that's the one thing. I'm really grateful for that community, the people who walked down the journey with me. And then now the money that also was left, I did take some few short courses here and there. Because I told you earlier, I didn't know social media. I didn't know. All I knew was math. All I knew was to help families plan. But I didn't know that how to do the socials, because I think the other part I didn't say is even during that 1 year, I left Nairobi. Yeah, I left Nairobi because everywhere I went was just reminding me of my late husband. So it was so tough being here. So I had to go start afresh in a whole new town. So at least I had enough money to move me and to relocate, and then just think about my recovery, both on a physical level and also emotional and mental. So the one thing I'm grateful for is I didn't have to think about where is the money at that point in time. So I had enough to take me for about a year and a half to just think of, okay, what can I do? Because you see, even when you're starting a business, seriously, maybe the first few months might not be...
Yes, there's no money that's coming in. Yes,
so now what...
laying the foundation.
Exactly. So at least I had money to be paying the bills, even as I'm figuring out now the whole business part of things.
So so you have the one customer who told you, now you know,
yes,
I heard what happened and I'm really sorry.
Yes, like
but it's just a conversation.
Yes. Actually, she came to the CEO. That was the first time I met her.
Really?
Yeah, because we were only having conversations online. And at that time, I was like, there's no way I'm coming to meet people face to face. That's why I had to make this digital thing work.
Okay. So at this point, Le Risque Africa had already been born. Right?
Yeah, it had already been born.
It was already registered.
Yes.
But now it's 1 year later that you decide, okay.
Yes.
It's time to get this ball rolling.
Exactly.
Yes, this boat needs to take off now.
Yes.
And you had a few clients.
Yes, I had a few clients.
Yes, that you were already working with.
Yes.
So now tell us, because I didn't even introduce, but I knew at what point I wanted us to talk about Le Risque Africa.
Yes.
So Mnyindo, tell us what do you do? What does Le Risque Africa do?
Okay, so let me be very, very clear in words that anybody can understand. So what we do at Risk Africa, from me as Mnyindo on a personal level and at Risk Africa as a business, we will help families protect and preserve family wealth. The one thing we have observed, especially when it comes to Kenyan families or African families in a whole, we just think about making money, creating wealth. But nobody ever thinks, how can we create structure in a way that this wealth actually stays for as long as possible? And even when unforeseen circumstances, we are still able to survive. Because a lot of us, we're first generational wealth builders, what they like to call new money.
New money.
Yes.
Kabisa.
So we don't have this knowledge on how can we be able to create structures or put in the right and the necessary tools to be able to make sure that even when life happens, we're still able to move forward. We do not have to start from scratch. So how do we do this? We do this now through helping people with, setting up their covers, whether it's life insurance, medical insurance, and helping people come up with their emergency funds, their pensions, to just make sure that there's that level of continuity no matter what happens. So when you think about Risk Africa, think about wealth protection, family wealth protection and continuity. Yeah. Because again, remember, Judy, also life is a journey.
It is a journey.
We can't know what can happen in between. I didn't see this happening in my life, that I was going to lose my husband. But then because there was some level of coverage, there was some money that could come in to help me continue. Even as the whole court process, which is a whole other story, is going and I have no access to his assets, there is continuity. Life still moves forward. Whether you're alive, even when you're gone, life still moves forward for your people.
Yes, and there are people that you leave behind.
And there's people you leave behind. So you have to think of, okay, what next? So that's what we do at Risk Africa. We help people now with, as I said, setting up life covers, helping people with their trust funds, and eventually even working together with advocates now in setting up a will and a trust as well. Just to create that family structure to ensure continuity of wealth.
Yeah. And I love it that you had your story first.
Yes.
Because now we truly understand what protection is about.
Yes.
So when you talk about, it's about wealth protection for your family. Like we can truly see it through your story.
Yes.
So, and life insurance was how your husband protected you and your two babies when he passed away.
Yes.
Let me tell you, 4 months ago when I had this conversation, my life has changed. And
so my
life has changed. My life totally changed from that.
No, I'm happy to.
Because now we've had these conversations with Baba Mumbus in the house, and we have made a few steps.
Yes, that is good. No, it's so important.
Towards like protecting our wealth and especially now Mumbus.
Yes, exactly. And I depend on you guys. Exactly.
So now, as I said earlier, when I had about I had heard about life insurance.
Yes.
But in my head, it's expensive.
Yes.
It is for the wealth. It is for, like it
sounds
like something that's very complicated.
Yes.
Hizo ni vitu tu ziko na watu wake. But from your story clearly, life insurance is for everybody of us.
Yes.
It's for everyone, and everyone can afford it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So I would like us to start off by defining what life insurance is.
Yes.
Because tunaiongelelea hapa na assume watu
wanajua tuseme.
Let's start with the definition. So what is life insurance and who should be considering taking life insurance?
That's a very good question, Judy. So life insurance is a financial tool that comes through for you and your family when life happens. So what do I mean when life happens? It gives a cash payout, a lump sum payout when someone dies. Because when someone dies, what happens is you die with the ability to create an income for the rest of your life. Because think about it. Right now I'm working. 35. And if something happens to me today, that means the income that I was providing for my family is no longer there. So what is it that we need to do right now to make sure that in case something happens today, there's an amount of money that's paid out to ensure that my children can still go to school, they still can afford the lifestyle that they're accustomed to. So that is why we get life insurance, to now protect our economic value. Every single person, usiseme hakuna mtu hana economic
value.
Exactly.
That is a very powerful statement.
There's the amount of money you're going to make in a lifetime. If your life was to be cut short, unfortunately, the money moving forward is no longer there. So life insurance is meant to close that gap. So it comes through, as I said, when someone dies. but also it has living benefits. Because during when you're taking care of your family and your kids, maybe you might not die but get a critical illness.
Yes.
So things like cancer, which is crazy. Like it's almost like it's a pandemic currently. Cancer, the stroke, the heart attacks. Medical insurance can only take you so far. It has what we call now the sublimits. So what a life insurance does, it pays out a lump sum to now be able to take care of you now during that season. Because if you cannot work because you have a cancer, it doesn't mean that the bills stop. So the amount of money that is going to be paid out as a lump sum can still continue paying the house bills as you're going through your recovery. Because as I mentioned even in my story, the worst thing is to go through recovery and going through grief while not having money.
You're struggling to make money.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because at that time, it means you have to be fully dependent on people, and even people have their things that they're doing. So at least also now it does pay out in the case of a critical illness like a cancer, stroke. So the money, since it comes to you cash, you can use it now to help with the hospital bills, but it can also be used to pay still your kids' education and everything that you're already taking care of in the house. And it also pays in the case of a disability. Someone can get into an accident, and maybe you might now be permanently and totally disabled. So what happens? So you need to make sure that there's an amount of money that can be paid to take care of now all the things that you are taking care of, your bills. So that's why when I say economic value, it is an income replacement tool. We know if your income stops today, there is continuity. Hakuna mahali tunakwama. Hiyo ndo tunaangalia. Because many families, we have seen it, when a parent passes away, maisha ndio hivyo. Sasa mnaanza kupelekeshana makoti because you cannot even have access to the accounts. I personally tried to go to my late husband's bank to try have access to his money. I went with my marriage certificate and I went with the death certificate. I was told, Madam, we understand, we can see there that there is you as a wife, but we can't give you the money. Imagine, hey, next of kin means nothing. They'll give you yes, you can have like the information.
What do you mean?
Imagine.
Even with proof.
If it doesn't matter, the whole thing has to go through the courts.
Oh my God.
Imagine.
And we know court cases can drag.
They can drag. Yeah, mine has taken like 5 years. So now imagine if I didn't have any money, what would have happened?
Yes.
So another aspect people never think about, where also life insurance comes in, is during that period to give you instant access to cash. Because what happens is life insurance is paid within 10 working days, 10 to 14 working days.
After you put out the claim.
Yeah, after you put out the claim. Yeah, it's a claim. So that means you have to send, maybe it's the death certificate, you have to fill in the claim form, and then I'll share your ID as the beneficiary, right? So, and then now the money will eventually come to you and you can continue with life. Yeah. But now, if you're going to wait for the Kenyan courts, which first of all are already super full, you might wait for years. Maybe the earliest could be maybe about a year if there's no protests, but it can take even so much longer. You've had people who've been in courts for 15 years.
Yes,
it's because of this now back and forth.
Yeah.
So now you ask yourself, how are people paying for stuff?
Actually there's I don't know who I was talking to not so long ago.
Yes.
And I was saying there's somebody who's been lying in the mortuary because the family can't agree for almost 20 years.
You're kidding
He
me.
hasn't been buried yet.
20?
Yes. Ako tu bado kwa mortuary.
Akishwali.
That is crazy.
Serious.
Imagine.
So ni kusababu sasa now think about it, Judy, from a cultural perspective. As Africans, we're told you cannot discuss death.
Yeah, that's
already we don't talk about money. So talking about life insurance is speaking about death and money at the same time. So both are taboo conversations. So this is a conversation we're not having in our households. But then it's so chaotic when someone dies because you're not having the conversation.
It's true, It's
so it's so critical to make sure that you have enough liquidity to take care of the family even when life happens. Because I mean, the other people can only take them so far. And especially the worst thing is when you have young children. Because under the age of 18, someone cannot even legally take care and manage wealth, claim anything. So you're leaving them in the hands of maybe guardians who most probably didn't even write a will to choose who your guardian is. So the courts have to choose the guardians for you. And then they don't even manage the money well.
And those are the stories.
We know. Yeah. So yes, life insurance in short is just to now come in as an income replacement tool to create that liquidity to make sure that your family's life moves forward, but also yours in the case of a critical illness or a disability.
Yeah, I like that. And actually that was to be my next question, because the way we think about life insurance is to cover funeral expenses. Like hapo ndio imefika.
Hapo ndio watu
wanajua tunachukua hiyo ndio ile siku nakufa at least msiende kuchangisha. Yeah, but beyond that you've mentioned there are other benefits. So I thought just to go through them again one by one. The benefits that come with a life insurance. So funeral expenses is one of the things that is covered because you're getting the money. So
you're getting the money so you can take
now you can decide to mtu wenu amenini, so a bit of that money can go into.
Exactly.
But when you're still alive, a life insurance still comes through for you.
It still does.
Because in case of a critical illness, like these terminal illnesses.
Exactly.
And then you also mentioned in case of an accident, and then you become totally disabled. So you're no longer able to go to your office. To do this job for you to get your monthly salary. Exactly. So this now, the lump sum, the payout that is made is able to cover you there. But now, at the beginning, when you were talking about your insurance wouldn't, your medical cover wouldn't
come through.
Wouldn't come through because it was COVID and COVID wasn't covered. You said you would tell us why.
Yes, let me explain to you. I think one thing is most people don't understand how insurance works because our introduction to insurance, especially life insurance, has been education or endowment policies, right? So people sometimes even think that insurance is a sort of an investment like the money markets. They feel like it's like a bond. So zimekuwa same WhatsApp group, but it's not. So it's important, first of all, to fundamentally understand how insurance works. And I'll explain to you why the COVID was not taken care of or even any other epidemic. So how insurance works? Insurance is a numbers game. Judy, all of us here, we face the same risk. Let me even just give a simple example of maybe car, motor insurance, right? All of us, anybody who has a car here, there's a risk of you getting an accident with that car or for the car getting stolen. The thing is that now, if my car is worth 3 million shillings, even if I have 3 million shillings in the account, why would I want to pay that full amount to buy a whole car? So what would I do? Let's say we are 10 of us here. All of us are facing the risk of our car being stolen or it being a write-off. Let's say our car is worth 100 shillings, right? And we are 10 of us here. So what we'll do, we're like, okay, mimi sina 100 shillings ya kwenda kununua the whole car. Lakini what we can do, we can all share. Weka 10 bob. Kila mtu hapa, I get 10 bob. So if it's your car, Judy, that has been stolen, it's a write-off. So remember, we've collected 10 bobs, 10 of them near 100 bob. So we will give you that money so that eventually you can go and buy a whole new car. Insurance works in the same way. We all face the same risk. So because I don't have that full amount to take care of maybe a hospital bill of 5 million or buying a new car at 3 million, we all pay a small amount of money into this pot. And then if anybody has been affected, money is being removed from that pot to pay the person who's affected. So we call it the fortunate many taking care of the unfortunate few. What do you think you pay only maybe 100,000 for a 5 million shilling cover or 10 million shilling cover? Because I would rather risk the 100,000 or the 50,000 compared to a whole 5 million. Nitatoa wapi 5 million randomly.
No, unexpected happens.
Exactly. Now same thing with life cover. We all face the risk of death. We all know we're all going to die. I mean, that's the only way out. It's a fact of life. The biggest risk is we don't know when and how. But if it's living, we're going to live at some point. Some people exit this journey earlier, others later. But now imagine you're still, taking care of children or you're taking care of your business. We need to make sure even the time it is that you exit that there's money that is into this pot. So all of us, as I said, we have all put in this money. Judy umeweka yako, mimi nimeweka yangu, kila mtu hapa ameweka pesa yake. So kama like for me, the money that was paid to me was a collection of so many people's premiums. So when people say no, insurance is so individualistic, actually maybe your premium paid it took care of me. So now the reason why for medical they were not able to pay me is because, remember, as I said, insurance is a numbers game. Out of maybe those 10 I'd given you an example, you only know only one car is going to get an accident because insurers have done their numbers. They know the statistics. What happens is if 4 cars get an accident at the same time, insurance watalipa aje? Hawana hiyo pesa, wako tu na 100 bob and they need to pay 400. The math is not mathing. So the same thing with COVID, because even now when they're doing their math, they did not put into consideration an epidemic that is going to affect so many people at the same time. They didn't have enough money in their pots to take care of all these people. That's why epidemic. I wish insurers could be explaining the watu wafikire, kwa nini nimelipa hizi siku zote na hawanilipi. Yeah, but you see now, when I need the money,
I need you, you're not coming.
Exactly. Yes. But you see now, when it comes to an epidemic, it means it's affecting so many people at the same time. And insurance is a numbers game. Kama kwa math yangu nimesema ni only one person atakuwa affected. Nikiletwa 5 people, nitalipa wapi? Nikilipa si I'll go bankrupt. Yeah. So that's how insurance works. It's solely numbers. Okay. Yeah. We are all contributing into this pot, and the insurers have done their numbers. Wanajua tu name mtu moja, like even in a particular year, not everybody who has contributed is going to die. Maybe only 2 out of 100. Yeah. What happens if like now there's an epidemic and all these about 40 people die? Yeah. So that's how the math is done. Okay. That's why now the epidemic could not be paid, because so many people were being affected at the same time and the bills were so big, the insurers could not pay. Okay. Yeah, that's the reason why. So sikuwa tutaki kuwalipa. Yeah. If you understand on a fundamental perspective how insurance works, you'll know why some things are paid, why some things are not paid. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if your documentation is right, we've never seen, okay, for us at Risk Africa, because we also have an agency, we've never had an issue of people not being paid. Yeah. As long as your paperwork is okay, everything is good, everything will be paid. Yeah, insurers just need to know you're saying the truth.
That's true.
Yeah, and usome hizo ma documents, watu wasomangi terms and conditions.
Kwanza hapo
ndo watu wanakwama alafu sasa mnakasirikia insurers, lakini pia wewe you signed up for something that you didn't understand.
But sometimes also the language is the lingo in those documents. Sometimes I'm like, surely so andike tu simple English.
Say wanajaribu
that I can just read and understand.
I know.
And sometimes you feel like, hey, I need an expert. I need Mnyindo to come
explain
what this document says.
Yes.
Yeah. So now I have another question back to life insurance.
Yes.
So if I take out a life insurance now, policy, like for example, I don't want to give myself an example. I feel like I need to use the example of someone younger. Someone younger.
Yes.
Say for example, there's a 25-year-old young man who has a young wife and one child.
Yes.
And they hear this conversation, they're like, hey, okay, this sounds like something that's good for us, because I need to protect my family. So he decides he wants to take out a life policy.
Yeah.
Policy pia.
Yeah, policy cover whichever any sawa tu. Unaweza kutumia
a life policy. Yes. So the installments, the premiums, they're called premiums. The premiums that he's supposed to pay. Do you pay them for the rest? Does he pay for the rest of his life as long as he's alive?
Yes.
Is he going to pay that for duration of time? Okay. Then it means as long as he lives, it's still covered.
I love that question. Yes. I think that question has taken us to the different types of life cover, so that now I can explain to you maybe what would be the best for that 25-year-old. Because you see now, even if we were to address the elephant in the room, most people who have come to us who feel like they've been played with insurance is because maybe they took up a cover without fully understanding what it was for. So I'm going to explain and then I will answer your question, because the different covers, some of them you pay for a term, some of them you pay for a longer period of time, but I'll explain. So let's start with what people know. Most people know education or endowment policies, the one which you're putting money aside, and then in case something happens, you know at least your child's education is taken care of no matter what. And then when you've survived the term, maybe you've taken this thing for, okay, your child maybe is 3 now and you are aiming for uni. So, you know, I need to pay this thing for 15 years. At the 15th year, you receive the money to pay for your child's education. But you also know, in case life was to happen in between here, there's money, the education will still be taken care of anyway, So that's what most people know as life insurance, especially when in Kenya, education or endowment policies. So that's almost, it's a combination. It's a life insurance which has a savings component. It's also a type of life cover. So life cover has like many different types of life cover. So kuna umbrella inaitwa life cover, alafu kuna the different types of life cover. So let's start with what people know. So kuna hiyo amboni, the education or endowment policy. So it's a life insurance with a savings component. So it does protect you in case someone was to pass away, but it also will pay some money at maturity. Yeah. So people contribute. So you choose a term based on, okay, when do I want my child to go to school? Yeah. And then you're like, okay, I want my child to go to school within the next 15 years. And then at that time, I still can access the money, or even in between, if something happens, at least my child can still go to school. Yeah. The thing about now the endowment policies, as I said, it's like almost a hybrid product. It has the life cover element to take care of someone in case they to pass away or get a critical illness. And it also has the savings component. So the biggest issue has been with majority of the people who have come to us is they feel like the returns are not making sense. Yeah, but it's because now it's a savings product. It is not an investment. Yes, it's not an investment. So if you're going to take it, just know that you're not expecting investment like returns with this product. So sometimes people take it and then later on they're like, no, this is not what it is that I wanted. And then you're trying to pull out, then the insurer is like, yes, you signed for this thing. So most of the time people end up losing a bit of their money because you're also cutting short your contract with the insurer because you said for 15 years and then now it's year 5 you're cutting this contract short. And then also now like you've not given the insurance enough time also to make their money. They're business. They're also in business. So that's what people know. And so education endowment policies is one type of life cover. So the people who choose to go down that route, a lot of them are like, I don't have the discipline, so I want something that is going to force me to save. I'm like, okay, that's okay. I personally don't choose that route because I'll explain as we're going along, but I take like what we call a pure life cover on the side to just make sure that in case something happens to me, there's definitely going to be a payout, because I'm looking at the most affordable way of going about it. Yeah. So I'll give myself as an example. So we've just spoken about the education and endowment policies. Let's talk about now what we call pure life policies. Pure life policies, they don't have an investment component. That's why it's not as expensive and it gives a bigger protection. Let me give an example with one of the policies that I currently have that I took like in my late 20s, early 30s. So I'm paying about, from one of my policies, I'm paying about 9,000 per month to cover me for 15 million. You see, you can't do that with an endowment policy. For me to get 15 million worth in endowment policy, maybe what I need to put aside is about 50,000 per month. Because remember, it has the savings component. Yeah. But anyway, I've explained it. Maybe I'll share with you a link so that you can share with people to understand how it works. But you see now with pure life, pure whole life, it covers you for the rest of your life, but you only pay it for a specific period of time. So you can be like, okay, right now my kids are 5 and 6. They're going to be dependent on me until the age of 25. So just the same as example as the young man who's 25 with a young wife taking up this cover. So like, okay, I have a young family. I need to make sure that in case anything happens to me, that my family is taken care of. So I can take a whole life cover, which is going to take care of my child between now and the age, by the time they are done with uni. After that, they can go and hustle for themselves. But before that, they are fully my responsibility. So in case something happens, as I said, there will be a payout. So I can say I'm going to take a whole life cover, but I'm paying for 15 years. If anything happens within the 15 years, there's still going to be a payout. Even if it's year 2, we've paid some people, they've literally have had cover for 1 year and they died, and we've had to pay the full amount. But now, let's say the 15 years are over, nothing has happened. You stop paying for the cover, but you are on cover for the rest of your life. So it's really good for protection in the short run and inheritance planning in the long run, because you're all going to exit one day. So at least this is money that is going to be paid to the family at some point in time. So it's very affordable. It can start anywhere from even like 2K. You put this money aside for this number of years, but you're covered for the rest of your life.
Because I know it depends on your age. Now I know these things.
Now you know these things, eh?
Baba Mumbu Sendai. We do have like an education policy for Mumbus. And I remember I was having a conversation with a friend of mine not so long ago. And I actually happened to mention the premium that you are paying every month. I was like, but now I see why with the whole life cover. The premiums are a bit lower than you would pay with an education cover. But now, just for people to understand, just don't get your premiums. Premiums ni nini.
Sawa. Unakumbuka kale ka story nilikuambia ya zile ma 10 cars nini?
Yes.
So that amount of money you have to pay every single month or every year to get this protection is called a premium.
Yes.
So depending on the life cover you've taken, kama umechukua ya 15 years, utalipa for your 15 years. Yeah? Kama umechukua for less, you're going to pay for less. So hii ndo nasema, this is the amount of money I'm paying every single month so I can get this level of protection.
Yes.
The level of protection is what we call the sum assured. So unaona vile nilikwambia,
so the amount of money you get at the
end or when you pass away. Exactly. So unaona kama the way I told you, like one of my first policies, I'm paying like about 9k for 15 million shilling cover. Your 9,000 ninalipa every month is the premium. Yes. Alafu hata kama kitu kinifanyikia leo, that 15 million has to be paid to my family.
And that is the sum assured.
And that is the sum assured. Yeah. Because you see, ndo naambiaga watu with life insurance, ukumbuke, nobody knows when. Tumesema the risk is we don't know when and how.
Yes.
So all I need to know during this stage of my life when my children are dependent on me, whether nikifariki year 1 ama year 10, that whole sum assured is paid.
Yes.
That's now what it means. Yeah.
And
So sum assured is the just the way with the car. So nalipa labda hiyo 100,000 if you I don't know how much right now they are. Alafu lakini unaambiwa you have covered this car for 3 million. Yeah. So unalipa hiyo premium lakini unajua hii gari ikiwa write off, that whole full 3 million is paid. Yes. So that is now the exchange. You pay the premium towards the insurer, and a lot of us are paying this premium together, though eventually it's going to be paid out to someone when life hits them.
I was thinking, I don't know if it's a practical way of doing it.
Yes.
I don't know if it's possible for us to do it that way, because I was thinking it would be nice to give like an example, like a practical example.
Okay.
You know, as human beings, since we understand hesabu, like ukiniambia, haya, Judy, unaniambia hivi, for a whole life cover.
Yes.
Yenye mimi kama niko 25 years. Nachukua ya mtoto ya bibi na mtoto ku protect familia yangu. So at 25 years, you're telling me I want to take a whole life cover.
Yes.
Maybe for like 15 years.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So for these 15 years, Judy, wananiambia premium yangu natoa ngapi kila mwezi. Because if you feel that way, then we people are able to put it in perspective.
Okay, so let's do the numbers when it comes to life insurance. How much do you even need? What is the value of your life? Tuanze na hapo, because I like to work backwards. Yes, some people say kwani unataka kuweka premium ngapi? Okay, I understand, yes, you need to look at your budget, but it's important to start with the end in mind. Vile kwa investment unajiambia, I'm looking into investing so that I can get 500,000 per month from my investment. So even with insurance, it's good to start with the end in mind. How much cover do you need? So the rule of thumb is usually 10 times your annual income.
Annual income.
Annual income. So kama mtu ana earn 200,000 leo, annual inamaanisha that's 2.4 million. Yeah. Tukichukua 200,000 times 12, 22.4 million. So the level of cover you need is 2.4 times 10.
That's 24 million.
That's about 24 million, right? So now the premium is going to be determined by your age.
Yes.
And your gender and smoking status. So women live longer.
I could have been
like numbers too. Yeah, women live longer. So usually it's a bit cheaper for women because women live longer. Yeah. And now also smoking status. When you are a smoker, your premiums are a bit higher than a non-smoker. Because remember, insurance is a risk business. Insurance anasema uko risky kwetu. Yeah. And then also your age. Because you see, when you're taking this cover at 20, it's so different from when you're taking it at 50.
Let me tell you. There's one that you've been considering taking.
Yes.
And as friends.
Yes.
So, like we were doing the math. Like the premium Timo Njugush is paying na Celeste.
Yes.
And the premium I'm paying and Abel is paying.
Like the different.
You are like, hey, to be young is a gift, guys. It's so good to have this information when you're younger.
Yeah.
Because even, like, your money works even better for you.
Exactly.
Like, when you do these things when you're younger, because you get to pay, like,
so
their premiums. And you see, we are all in our 30s.
Exactly.
But a 4-year difference.
It makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference when it comes to these premiums.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, like, let's say, because remember, as I said, it's dependent on those things. So let's say if someone is like 25 and then is taking like a 24 million shilling policy for now the next 15 years. Because yes, they're paying for 15 years, but they're covered for the rest of their lives. It might be maybe like around that 10k. Yeah.
Per month.
Per month. Yes. And then, so remember, year 15 ikiisha, bado wako on cover, wana stop kulipa, but they're on cover for life. But 25-year-old akikufa in 2 years, that
24 million
still has to be
the sum assured.
The sum assured has to
Bado
be paid. Yeah. So what I can do for you, Judy, nitakutumia kitu uangalie the numbers, because I don't have them offhand. Because mimi ile niko the ones I have offhand, they're the ones I have.
That you're paying for. Yes.
So let me give an example of a client alichukua ingine juzi. For her, she took a 50 million shilling cover. She's paying like about 35k. Every month, yeah, for 50 million. So kumbuka, it doesn't matter akienda in 1 year, ikienda in 10 years, the family has to receive 50 million shillings.
That is actually, now it gives a very good understanding
yes.
of what it means when you say protection.
Yes.
Because you see now for her, if after 15 years, or even before 15 years,
because she has very young children, wako wadogo sana, and they're fully dependent on her.
The family still gets the 50 million. After 50 million, kani utamaliza?
Huwezi kumaliza.
50 million ndo umalize haraka hivyo. So that becomes an investment.
Yes. Yeah, now that money can be invested, and the children's lifestyle don't change. Inamaanisha their school will not change. It means what? Even the extracurricular activities, sisi ambao tunataka kuwa sijui swimmer moms, football mom, that does not change. And also now the part people never think about is hata kama you've left a guardian, who guardian atangalia mtoto wako na pesa gani?
That's true.
So at least now you will have taken care of of the money aspect of things.
Yeah.
So it makes things a bit less complicated, taking care of whoever it is who's remaining.
Yeah,
taking care of the kids.
When I heard you speak at the Shio event, I was like, Aki, I would love to have Mnyindo come talk to us. Because I feel there's a lot that we hear uko nje, but because we don't have the full information, it feels like there are things that are out of reach for so many of us. Yes. But now understanding that maybe at 25 years, maybe 24 million, 24 million. I want to start maybe with 10 million.
You can even start.
Because you're still so young. It means then at 10 million, if 24 million I'm paying 10k roughly, it's not there, it's just a rough figure. If I do half the amount, then I'm paying like 5 or 4 or 3,000 per month.
Exactly.
To protect
your family.
And in case anything happens, as long as I have started paying my premiums, 2 years down the line, my family still gets the 10 million that was the sum assured.
Imagine, exactly. Because you see now, like one of the first policies in Kwambia, that 9,000. Right now, when my income increased, I was able now to get another one.
Yes.
Because who does not want to leave their kids good money?
Yes. Eventually, that's the whole point. Right? When you're a parent, the only thing you think about mostly is the life you want to live for your children.
Exactly.
Because tumesema we are new money, but you want to become old money. I want to become
we're going to be the new old money. So you see now, like that's why, like, you have to really be able to get yourself of the survival mode, because a lot of Kenyans wanafikiria ni nini nitapata kesho. So all of us are usually in that hustle mode. So it's so important to think about, okay, how am I going to make sure that this world can even outlive me and even go to my children's children. So the people who call themselves Christians and say wakisomanga hiyo scriptures sijui wanafikirianga nini ile a good man leaves an inheritance. Watu wengi wa leave an inheritance to their children's children. But you see now, this is a simple way and a very affordable way. Think about it, Judy. For you to be able to build a portfolio of 50 million in investment, it is not easy, because hapo inamaanisha utakuwa umechezwa kiasi, you've lost money, made money, and then now you don't even know how the markets are. But you see, with life cover, it doesn't matter how the markets are going.
Your money remains your money.
Remains your money.
It will remain assured.
Exactly. So whether the markets are doing well or not well, at least no matter what happens, that's an assured amount that is going to go to the children eventually. So that's the beauty about it. That's how I usually look at it. Because
actually when you've been now having these conversations with Baba Mumbus, actually the person that we are always talking about is Mumbwa. Like tunachia mtoto like tunampanga aje, because lazima tumpange, because now we are the new money, but she will be the old money.
She'll be the old money. Exactly. Also naambiaga tu, for you to be considered old money, this world should have stayed for like about 100 years. This is when now you'll have. She'll be the foundation. She'll be now the foundation. Exactly. Because you see now, like, I know you're going to eventually have the conversation on trust, but it will be so important now to create structure to make sure that wealth is going to trickle down well. Because making money is one thing, but the reason why a lot of us, the world does not go past the second generation is because there's no structure.
That's true.
So making money is one thing, but sasa kuangalia sasa vile ita flow mpaka uko second 3 generations, 4 generations. Hey, that one requires a lot of planning.
Alafu, you see, now this explains actually how wealthy people stay wealthy.
Yeah.
Like they remain wealthy.
Yeah.
Like for generations and generations and generations to come.
Let me tell you something. You know,
and how they build their wealth actually.
Exactly. You know, like even this, the Pure Life cover, the reason why I go so hard on it is from what I learned from one of my early clients. Wakati nimeanza hii kazi like in 2017. So for him, he only used to take Pure Life covers. This is my whole life. And first of all, he was already extremely wealthy. See, ile pesa alikuwa nayo tayari could take care of even 3 generations. But one thing you realize, even the wealthy want more wealth. Yes. So what he told me is, now if he was to look at it from a family perspective, the reason why he's taking life cover, in as much as he knows he on a personal level will not benefit from it, is because it's going to add value into the family pot. You see, he's not thinking about it by himself, he's thinking about it from a family perspective. I think when we shift the conversation from personal finance also to family finance, we can go very far. So for him, he took like a big, I think it was one of the biggest policies I'd ever seen at that time, like almost about 800 million.
Whoa.
Yeah. So just you can imagine now, in case anything happens, that is strictly going into the family pot, just like that. So yes, that's a lot. And then he told me, another thing he told me, which I found very interesting, because he was Asian, since we're Africa, we think a bit different. So he told me, when his kids, the family, anybody hits 18, there's a life cover on everybody's head. So there can never be a loss in that family.
Yeah.
So if someone passes away, there's money in the family to continue. So now for us, because we don't have, I know.
That is how they,
I know.
Actually, that's how they build wealth and stay wealthy forever and ever.
So when he told me that, I was like, kwani sasa sisi tunabaki tuna hizi my education policies. So for them, that's what they do. Everybody has a life cover on their head, because it's so interesting how you'll find someone has put so much money, maybe even 300,000 kwa gari yake.
Yeah.
But they don't even have any cover on their own lives. Are you saying your car is of more value than yourself?
Yeah.
So for them, that's how they see value, because they see the value of a human being is more valuable than any other asset. Yeah. So they need to make sure that every single human is covered. Every single family member is covered. So you can imagine when someone passes come 100 million in and get into the family pot, iyo pesa itai kuisha.
Easy kuisha.
So
that family will be wealthy for many years.
But it forces you now to think of not just yourself, but now of many generations to come. So this to come, and they are planning for like 5 generations. When you barely even think of next year.
Yeah. Okay, so that
that
makes sense.
Hii pesa hizi kuisha.
How, by their families that are wealthy and will be wealthy
stay
forever
wealthy.
and ever and ever.
Exactly. Sisi mko hapo unasema, our culture, we do not allow ourselves to speak about this. Ndo mnabaki broke to every generation. You're starting afresh. So you have to really change your mind and really open up your mind to the possibilities, because if you close yourself up, it means you're closing your kids up and all the generations to come.
True.
So you have to find out what is these things that people are doing to maintain this world. Making is one thing, keeping it is a whole different ball game.
It's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to somebody
Yes.
and I told them that my daughter even knows how much money I make.
Oh, that is good.
Like
yes.
we were doing our taxes and see, you have to print you have to get your statements from the bank, nini. And at the bottom it shows like, hey,
alishtuka.
And huyo mtu aliniambia, kwa nini unaongelesha mtoto juu ya maneno ya pesa? Kwa nini mtoto wako anajua ni Kasema, let me tell you.
Yes.
Me, I have vowed.
Yes.
Mnyindo,
yes.
That I will be the first one in my generation.
Yes.
To make sure that my child understands money.
Hey,
from
I love
a young
that.
age.
No, I love that.
Like from a young age.
Hey.
But then, like when we were actually, there's some like insurance covers tumekuwa tukiongelelea kwa bank nini. But then tunambebanga. Like we actually sit with her as they explain. Yes. And if she has any questions, she asks.
Yeah. No, I love that you're doing it so differently.
Yes, because I said I have to change it for my family, for my generation. Sasa mimi I'll be the first generation in my family
to do this.
Mtoto wangu understands money.
No, that is good.
Understands money, knows she knows how money works. Yeah. She knows how to make money. Yeah. She knows where to put this money for that money to make more money.
To make more money.
No.
Na mkinunua mashamba mumpeleke pia, because most people hata hawajui what their parents own.
Yes.
And you know, like I find it very interesting when now you're talking to people like, sasa kwa nini ajue na kitaka kunimaliza ndio achukue vitu zangu? I'm just like,
no, that's the other thing.
Now, sasa surely. So you're not going to bring in your because most people who are trying to have this conversation with their parents are still finding it hard. So that generation before us is
let me
but it's good what you're doing.
Yes. And all this is because of things that I've seen from my family, like growing up, my dad, mom, nini.
Yes.
My dad passed away.
Yeah.
In 2000. In 2000.
Oh, 2000.
Yes.
Wow.
That is how many years ago?
That's 25 years ago.
25 years ago.
Wow.
And
you are young.
If you can believe it. I was in class 6.
God.
If you can believe it.
Yes.
Judy, like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We got a call. From a random person. Telling us about a property that my dad owned in Eldoret.
Watcha. 22 years later.
Imagine.
Like, oh my God.
So,
my God.
This thing of
kuficha.
Hatusifiche hizi maneno. Kama uko na bibi, uko na bwana, these conversations are for the family. And you see, at the end of the day, we are doing it for our family.
Exactly.
So the conversations need to be open.
Yes.
And also the kids, they need to be involved. It depends on the age.
Exactly. You know how to introduce the money conversations based on the age.
But it would be so sad. Do you know my mom was so pissed? My mom was so
believe
pissed. Alisema hataki na hataki kujua na hataki kusikia maneno. And she said she doesn't want to hear that story.
Because unajua labda tengewasaidia at that time.
Alafu sasa alikuwa anasema saa hizi sasa nimelea watoto.
Umelea watoto wametoka hata wanatengeneza.
Alafu alikuwa anasema sasa nianze kusumbuana na watu huko Eldoret. Tuanze kupigana, tupelekane kwa koti. My mom was like, I do not need that stress in my life.
Yes.
But then she said she doesn't care. She said, do you do what? Whatever. No, but sisi pia tuko na trauma. So everybody was like, we don't want. Anyway, as we wrap up this conversation of ours, so for our audience, somebody has had this conversation and they are curious about life insurance, and they are wondering, sasa from here, okay, sasa nimesikia Judy, so where do I start?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's explain how the process goes. At least when it comes to take up of life cover, it's always good to start with the end in mind. You see now the way you're having family conversations, it's important now to be very open with yourself and know this is the level of protection I need for my family. Because hapa, watoto wangu wako dependent on me, kiumana ni hivyo. Or this is the level of inheritance that I want, right? So it's good to now start with the end in mind. Maybe that's the amount you want. And then now next thing is now to get a proposal that is tailored for you, right? So what we usually do now for us at Risk Africa, we have a form someone can fill so we can gather as much information. Because remember, as I said, these things are dependent on age, your gender, and also now your smoking status, and also how long you want to pay these premiums for. So now when we're able to get that information, we are going to give you a proposal and then we can have a conversation. So kama you want to now tie or like to figure out the nitty-gritty, or if you need any further clarification, we can be able to make it there. And then now just doing the application. So we are able to match with the right insurer based on your needs, because I mean there's so much out here, and if you don't know what to look out for, it's going to be hard, because it's important to look at what is the claim settlement ratio, what are the chances of these people actually paying, the reputation of the company is also very, very important, and also now just find the reviews of how people have been, I mean how they were handled when it came to this insurer, because at that time unataka kukimbizana na watu na jump hoops, so we'll be able to match you with now the right insurer. Then now we start the application process, which is pretty basic. We just need to know like your details, where you live, if you have any conditions, it's good for you to let us know. Because in insurance, you also have to be very open. Don't lie to the insurer. Don't say you are a non-smoker and you are a smoker. Because if you're to die from lung cancer due to smoking, the insurer will refuse to pay that claim, just because you did not say the truth. And then after that, now, depending on the level of cover you are taking, you might have to go do some medicals, which are paid by the insurer. They usually just do a bit of blood work, and now also maybe check just your overall well-being. And then you're on cover, you get started. So you make sure you now pay the premiums. You can pay some, for business owners, love to pay annually, because how sometimes it can change the business landscape can change, or you can pay monthly, semi-annually. It's really dependent on you. But another very important advice I'd like to tell people is to always have an emergency fund. So in case they are to lose their job, they have money to pay the premiums. But also an insurer who is flexible enough to maybe even reduce the premium during that time that your life is happening. But after that, now you continue paying the premiums. And then in case now life happens, again, please let your people know watu wajue uko na insurance, because the worst thing is taking a cover and nobody knows that it even exists.
Imagine your hard-earned money.
Your hard-earned money you've been putting it, because watu
wanaogopa premiums. Alafu the people that you are protecting.
Exactly.
Hata hawajui.
Ni kweli.
So mtu mwingine anakula hiyo pesa yako.
Inabaki tu insurance kama watakutafuta. They don't look for you, because remember, they have millions of clients. Ukiacha kulipa premiums, they might just think you just stopped paying the premiums. They won't really call you. But for you passed away. Even though sometimes what happens, but for us, what we do, we will check in on you every year. Hello, boss, bado uko sawa?
You're still alive, yeah?
Because you're still alive. Especially the people who pay annually, because we don't know what is happening during there. So it's always good. That's one thing we take upon ourselves, to just be checking in. Are you still okay? So in case of anything, we can still now help the family, to be able to be paid, because we always make sure. Also, another thing is we have contacts of your next of kin. Hata kama umegopa kuambia bibi yako, at least niwe tuna details zake ndo ninaweza kumpigia.
Yes, in case of anything.
In case of anything, I can be like, oh, your husband actually had this policy through us, and now we can guide you in this process. So the taking it up is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And then after that, your family is protected.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love this conversation. I love this conversation for that one thing.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that you're all chasing. The thing that you're all looking to do is protect the people that you love.
We're already protectors. Why don't you just also now put the financial tools to also additionally protect our people? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mnyindo.
Thank you, Judy.
So much. I'm so
thank you for having me. Oh my God.
Has finally happened.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I am sure our audience have picked up something.
Yes.
Kitu inaweza wasaidia.
I'm happy to hear that.
And now, in case you have any more questions, I will leave Mnyindo's contact information in the description box. So feel free. Like after hapo unaweza mpigia
watutafute.
Sasa pale kwa Judy, there's a question I had that you did not answer. Please feel free to reach out.
Yes, and also like we have so much information also on our YouTube channel, so they can follow
I will
Insurance Unfiltered by Melissa.
Information.
Na hizo zote nimepeana information mpaka tamtachoka. That's what I do. I try to pour out as much as I can.
I will make sure I have left all that information.
Awesome.
Up on the description.
Asante sana,
thank you so
thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming through. That was a fantastic conversation.
Thank you.
And in case they have more questions, if they come back with a lot more questions, so you can come back and we answer these questions.
Exactly. Like a part 2 or something.
So feel free to ask the questions up on the comment section.
Ayo ni sawa kabisa. Anytime, Judy. Thank you for having me. This was so nice.
And until next time. Bye.
Thank you so much.
That was so
Thank you. Anytime. This was so
good.
Nice
conversation.